Welcome to episode 86 of the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Minogues.
And I'm Brian Hines. Hope everybody's doing well today.
Get up on that a little bit.
Am I sounding a little weird? I can't tell if I do or not because I'm a little bit under the weather. But
yeah, you sound better now. Sound just a little echoey,
yeah.
Little like a shadow of yourself.
I feel like a shadow of myself.
Well, I hope you feel better. We'll get
Thank
through
you.
this. We'll get through this. With us, as always, is the disembodied voice of our producer, Tiny Brian.
Oh, I am alive.
Hey, Tiny Brian. Today we're getting into all the action from OVW Tough Love 2025, admitting live originally on February 9th from legendary Hot Point Davis Arena. But first, Brian Hines, we gotta do the paperwork.
We'll go ahead and get this out of the way.
Clean the
We've
house.
Got some dates for you. Every Thursday, OVW Rise at Hot Point Davis Arena. That is at 6:30 p.m. March Mayhem. Hot Point Davis Arena, March 29th, 2025.
That's a Saturday night special.
That's how they usually work. OVW podcast, or I'm sorry, Take Two and Action. OVW, Appalachian Armageddon, Pikeville, Kentucky, as part of the legendary Hillbilly Days Festival, and that is April 25th, 2025. And there is a free all-ages show at Element Eatery in Cincinnati, Ohio on June 28th. You can get tickets to all of these events and many, many more in the future at OVWTix, that's TIX.com.
And we do have an actual break now. I'm still not used to it. We do want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Jason at Perfect Pitch Events and Entertainment. You guys went. I decided not to go this past Saturday. I felt like taking a day to rest, but you guys went to Tough Love this past week.
Yeah.
And we're at the festivities that Jason had to offer. You brought home one of the roses.
I did, and I meant to bring it in here and put it on the desk, but it's in the other room on my other desk.
Still alive. Quality rose. That's a quality rose.
It was beautiful.
From Jason at Perfect Pitch.
All of the tie-dye roses were beautiful. I had never seen such a thing, but I was really impressed.
It's funny. I was watching Abbott Elementary last night, and they made a tie-dye rose joke. And I didn't know that they existed, but apparently they are out there in the ether.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things when you don't hear about it at all ever in your life, and then you hear about it twice in a week or whatever.
Yeah.
How do we get in touch with Jason at Perfect Pitch Events?
Well, there's a number of ways. The phone number is 502-298-4077. Hey, 4077, MASH.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Well, that's because you're a little bit younger than I am. www.bookperfectpitch.com, Jason at bookperfectpitch.com, Insta at Perfect Pitch, and Facebook Perfect Pitch Events and Entertainment. Any of your DJ event planning needs, Jason's all over it.
And it's not just DJ. This guy's got the photo booth.
Yeah.
This guy's got the karaoke.
Yeah.
This guy's got the DJ, like you mentioned. He's a full party in and of himself. And on top of that, big OVW fan and a nice guy.
Super
Absolutely.
nice guy.
Hey, Brian, we think your mic is maybe turned around off kilter. While you're adjusting that, I'll just say that when we were at Tough Love over the weekend, Jason was there taking pictures of people with stars and people just there with their families. And I can tell you, I went to talk to Jason probably a half dozen times over the course of the evening. He was never available to talk. He was busy until basically the last fan that left the building was left after they had their picture made in that photo booth.
Yeah, Mr. Joe literally threw all of us out on our rear ends at the very, very end of the night because there were just so many people that wanted their picture taken. Everybody had a wonderful time, and Tough Love was a great event in and of itself, but having Jason there and having the ability to capture some of those moments really put it over the top. So if you have any event needs, he's your guy for sure.
Jason at Book Perfect Pitch, 502-298-4077, www.bookperfectpitch.com, Instagram at Perfect Pitch Louisville, Facebook Perfect Pitch Events and Entertainment, and one last sincere thank you.
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Now let's jump into it. Short and sweet as far as pay-per-views go. Whenever I saw the final runtime on the rewatch, I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. Still packed to the brim, though. Kind of a thing that I was thinking about in terms of fluctuating pay-per-view times is this could be yet another kind of example of OVW looking at the big boys. Like it used to be oh, Raw lasted this amount of time, that's gone out the window. It used to be the pay-per-views last this amount of time, that's too gone out the window. I think, and I, for one, as a fan, enjoy that. I don't think that things have to last a certain amount of time. I'm here to see the story progress. I'm here to see the wrestling matches. And if I can get everything I want, and basically double bang for my buck, I'm here for it, baby.
Yeah.
And with that was certainly kind of the story of OVW Tough Love 2025. We start off with a sketch where
A backstage segment.
yeah, Los Desafios mistake the newly minted team of Loud and Lawless for Guns N' Roses, which is pretty accurate. I'll take that. I like that. I thought that was funny. First proper match of the evening, though. The one of the ever famous or infamous, depending on who you ask, OVW media kind of lower card scramble matches.
Yeah.
This time it's for the media championship. We've seen it in the past for the Rush championship. The 5 people in question here: Showtime Shanklin, Prime Jackson, Justice Davis, Anthony Katina, and KT Dunn. We start off the match with Prime Jackson and Showtime Shanklin.
Showtime Shanklin is the first guy we see on this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. First guy live in the ring on the pay-per-view, at
Yes.
least, which is a big place to start for Showtime Shanklin. This is a man who is learning a lot about himself right now, in and out of the ring, and has kind of a new breath of confidence about him, I would say, as a performer. He does manage to take out Prime Jackson, which was a surprise to me. I kind of had Prime. Everybody knows I'm sentimental for Prime Jackson.
Well, yeah, sure.
So I kind of, in my heart of hearts, I knew when Katina was in this match that was the giveaway. That's who's going to win, the newly returning Anthony Katina. But I kind of saw Prime, or at least wanted Prime to go a little bit further. Showtime Shanklin knocks out Prime. He ends up knocking out Justice Davis as well. And then there's a little bit of back and forth, or knocking out, I should say, pin. They don't knock each other out in this match.
No, that's
they make the rules. They make the rules in this match. There's a little bit of back and forth after he eliminates Justice Davis, and that is just long enough for Anthony Katina to eliminate Shanklin. So it looks like we've got a little trouble brewing between Shanklin and Justice Davis. We know that those two guys are friends. In storyline, maybe that relationship isn't long for this world.
Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely the words that they were exchanging that gave Anthony Katina the quick pin over Showtime Shanklin, which was unfortunate for him. So your first 3 competitors are already out.
Mm-hmm.
Katina's just waiting on whoever's next. Unfortunately, for KT Dunn,
The fitness influencer.
That was him, and he didn't last long either. The 7-foot stand up lasted longer than he did.
Actually, I'm glad that you brought that up. Here's the intelligence of KT Dunn. He had more screen time than almost anybody in this match by leaving that stand up there at the walkway.
Yeah,
that is smart stuff.
Yeah,
that's grand scheme thinking right there, baby.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, Anthony Katina eliminates him from contingency.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
What is in KT Dunn's duffel bag, gym bag? Because it is incredibly heavy.
Depends what time of the day it is.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I said that. And I don't know why I thought it was funny either. It really wasn't. Anthony Katina knocks out KT Dunn. Then we see your boy.
Boy Toy Troy. You forgot about him in the start of talking about this match.
You're right, I did. How could I forget?
You're going to give that guy
just like God
a hard
forgot,
time about cake.
Just like God forgot his gluteus.
By the way, he wondered where you were. He asked me where you were because he wanted to talk to you.
He thinks he thinks I'm ducking him. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I am ducking him.
You're going to create a faction. Him and Bundles are going to get together just to be like the We Hate Jackman team.
Oh, well, see, I actually really don't like
the He-Man Jackman Haters Club.
I give Boy Toy Troy a hard time. I don't like to get. That's the difference. Brian Hines?
Yeah. You leave me out of this.
No, that was I thought that was the note that you just passed me to say that out loud. Brian Hines is complicit in this. Totally complicit in this. Boy Toy Troy, though, not enough. I think the from the moment Katina, I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about this match, from the moment Katina is announced, we kind of know this is his spot.
Yeah, seemed like as though the fix was in.
He's newly returning. He beat Eric Surge on his return. He won this match. He's clearly being, we need to pay attention to him.
Yeah, he's definitely been hyped, and the hype is real.
We next see a match. I guess we'll find out whenever. I guess we'll find out when Katina will challenge Dustin Jackson down the road. After that, we see a sketch with Icon Lee, and he's like, I want to talk to Doug Basham because he stopped the rise of Icon Lee or something. I don't know. I didn't really get it.
No.
I didn't really get it.
Not really.
Impressive that he could project under 14 layers of mask, though. Like,
sounded
the
pretty
nonsense
clear.
he said, I could hear it.
I will give you that. There was no incoherent mumbling like we get from EC3. He enunciated. He spoke loudly and projected, like you said, through that ginormous mask. So you get points for that.
He did not appear to be in a Cleveland area basement, since we're comparing him to EC3.
This time.
Yeah, this time.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, I think EC3 was like at least at the Marriott. Like, I don't think he was always in the basement.
He was in his car like twice.
I mean, it was like an Audi.
Like he's in his car, and then you hear from the loudspeaker, "Welcome to Wendy's. May I take your order, please?" Hold on just one second.
Chicken. What combo you picking?
Hold on just 1 second. I'm going to finish the promo, and I'll be right with you.
What do you think he gets? Grilled chicken? Definitely. With a body like that.
One of the salads, probably.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know these fast food salads. I think that the salad at Zaxby's, they have to legally call a salad because I don't think that you can call it a salad.
You can nowadays.
That's just Zad, really.
It's Zad.
Yeah.
It's Zad. AJ Zed is up next with Shannon the Dude. Shout out to our British listeners. He's running. He's up against Icon Lee. We give Icon Lee a lot of trouble on this podcast, and you know what? Maybe he deserves it. But the places that he has found himself and the occasions that he has rose to, I do want to sincerely say, like, the kid's kind of grown on me.
Yeah.
I like watching him get beat a lot.
You know what else grows on you? Warts.
Well, trust me,
Moving right along.
I think I missed the stupid helmets.
Who's stupid helmets?
Icon Lee's.
Icon Lee's. He had both helmets on last night on this episode.
There are two?
Yeah, when you take off the Stormtrooper helmet, there's like a somebody else helmet under.
Shockmaster helmet.
Wait, so it's like wearing a hat on top of a hat.
Yes, it's literally a hat on a hat gag.
Didn't Dr. Seuss write a book about that?
No, that was Hop on Pop.
Okay. It was the hat in the hat with Icon Lee. There's a picture of Icon Lee on the front.
Okay, Fan Nation, we need an image of this. We need Icon Lee in a Seuss book immediately.
We need to write this out, too, because it wouldn't be hard to do. There's only like a half a dozen words or so on each page, and they all rhyme, and they're all whimsical and stuff, much like...
what rhymes with Icon?
Crycon.
PyCon.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, yeah.
Nikon.
Lee is probably easier. Lee is free to see the me who is thee.
Lee is free to lead the sheep.
True. So y'all tell us about this match.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what do you want me to say? AJZ looks great in booty shorts because he does.
He's got more chest hair than Icon Lee has head hair, noggin hair.
He definitely does. I mean, AJZ's got a lot of hair. Just in general, like I hope that he's one of those guys that can keep it, you know, like kind of like
until he gets older, like me.
Yeah, kind of like my co-host here, because that boy's got a head full of hair.
Or until he loses a dance off with Dude Love.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Well, he only goes for chest hair, apparently, because he's sick.
Well, there's enough of that. There's enough of that on AJZ to.
There is enough to knit a sweater. Really, seriously.
Okay, I'll be good now. AJZ is so stupid powerful. AJZ is so stupid strong. I love watching him do just big, dumb, strong man move. Not like dumb, like unintelligent, but like dumb. Like, man, it is dumb he can do that. It is so dumb that he could do that so well. His new kind of like running power slam, or new to me at least, Does it look devastating? Maybe it's because Icon Lee is a tiny man, stature-wise.
In stature, yes.
Stature comparatively.
And he knows how to sell.
He does. Exactly.
Let's not shortchange the man.
Before I got distracted, yeah, like Icon Lee is so incredibly good at the things they have asked him to do, and like that's what wrestling like is. Like, is it easy for me to sit and like clown on him? Yeah, it is. That's why I do it so much.
Is it fun? Also, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like he is very good at professional wrestling. Like at the end of the day, he's just needs to go through a rock tumbler a little bit. Just needs to get smoothed over a little bit.
So my favorite part of this whole entire match, and possibly the whole entire night, we were sitting on the hard cam side up in the top corner, and we see.
I saw the picture.
See through the ropes on the other side, somebody has just a plain white sign. It's probably like 16 by 18, something like that. And it's just got 2 words on it. It just says, "Bite him." And the whole time, it was a lady, right?
Yes, it was. A very excited lady.
Yeah.
Was
constantly holding up the sign. And so I don't know if you know this, but AJZ is a biter. It's a known fact that he bites people during matches. So I wondered how this was going to play out. True to form, Icon Lee got bitten by AJZ, and that woman lost her shit.
I mean, she got her groove back right there in front of all of us.
It's
Stella
like she was on
there?
The Price is Right, and she won
may
like
as well have been
Plinko.
Stella. Yeah.
So did she know that AJZ bit people? Or
Yeah, I'm pretty
okay,
sure.
I was like, what a random sign to just walk into a wrestling event with, and then also like get the catharsis of.
There were a lot of weird random things. The most random thing, I heard somebody shout at this pay-per-view. I was walking back to my seat, and I heard somebody shout, "E equals MC squared." It's like, wait, what? Somebody just shouted the theory of relativity at Tough Love tonight? Okay. And I didn't make the connection at first, but they were talking about me because I was having a bad hair day.
I believe they may have called him Heinstein.
Yeah, well,
That one,
that's
that
right.
one stuck.
Yeah.
That one's gonna stick.
This is probably a good moment to have a larger conversation. The crowd at Tough Love, Brian. You and I were both there live. That was perhaps the most unhinged crowd that I've ever seen at OVW.
It's been a very long time since I saw a crowd that riled up at a pay-per-view, for sure.
And it was delightful. There were 3 or 4 different large groups of, I assume, drunk people who were just shouting their heads off.
Remember when we used to drink every time he said delightful?
Yeah.
That was like the first drinking show on the game, or drinking game on the show.
God, I haven't used that. You guys talked me out of that. I haven't said the D word in a while.
Well, you just said it a minute ago, and you alluded to it, so that's like a sippy sip. So,
Not sure. They finally got the 12 packs of the non-alcoholic beer down at the corner store.
do they?
Yeah,
Cool.
I've been asking for them for a month.
That's actually really good stuff.
I know, I love it.
If you go to Kroger, you get $3 back. There's a rebate.
I know.
I'll show you how to use the app later.
Thank you. I'm scared of the technology.
I know, I am too.
AJZ wins against Icon Lee. No surprise. No surprise. After that match, we see Tatovic saying that it's insanity that she will face Sophia for the 3rd time. I, for one, agree. Just putting that out there. Los Desafio up next. Los Desafios versus Lawless and Von Rocket, or just is it? Yeah, they dropped Ryan, right? So now it's just Von Rocket.
Is it?
Right?
I
It
believe so.
changes every week.
Yeah, it's changed. It's been in a state of flux.
The
recently.
important thing is the glitter's still there, and you can't stop the rock.
That is true. They
And
called
you
it
never will.
No.
No.
They called it loud, and they called them Loud and Lawless this time.
I like it.
I would like to submit to the OVW and the Fan Nation that I think they should be called the Rocking Chairs.
Oh, well, that's pretty. That's like Lion Chops. That's up there in the Lion Chops territory.
I love it. Thank you.
I don't know, man.
It's no. Listen, you came up with Hush Syndicate. Maybe you retire after that one.
Nope. I will never retire. I will do this until I am way bad at it.
So Lawless and Von Rocket. I think that that first week that we saw them, we were like, oh, is this a new tag team, or is this just 2 guys filling out this match? they took to each other very, very quickly. The audience took to them very, very quickly.
They did. This is, their third match together as a tag team?
Mm-hmm. And they managed to take home the victory over Los Desafios, which was very surprising to me.
Yeah.
They debut a new move, the headbanger. I think, man, I really hate seeing Los Desafios lose on pay-per-view. I'll start there.
Sure.
Start there. Hate seeing them lose on pay-per-view. Those guys are so tight in ring. This was one of their best matches since they've been together. Commentary did a great job of pointing out that, like, even though they're kind of a new tag team, these guys have had each other's back for a long time.
Years and years.
They're very, very familiar with each other. That's where the natural chemistry comes from. But Ryan Von Rocket and Jake Lawless are kind of, how do I want to put this?
Nailing it?
They're nailing it for sure, but
yeah.
I didn't want to say unstoppable to make a reference to the entrance music, but like they've made themselves unignorable.
Oh, definitely.
And I think that that's a big reason why they take home the victory over Los Desafios here.
Well, when you're loud and lawless, everybody's going to pay attention.
Mm-hmm. And people are, man. Great to see Jake kind of. Dustin was like took off as a single star,
yeah.
You know. And then they had that great tag team. They worked great together. This has more legs than Dustin Jackson and Jake Lawless did, for sure. Yeah. Like this has more
contrast.
Legs. It's more fun. I think Loud and Lawless are going places.
Is this the Tusks and Chains of 2025?
That's not a bad comparison. For very different reasons. Obviously, skill and size and et cetera, very different reasons. But yes, like just in terms of like we know how to have fun, we also know how to kick ass. Loud and Lawless is right there.
Yeah, work hard, play hard, definitely.
Excuse me, my throat is so dry. We have a sketch after that where Sophia remembers that Tatovic cheated on Thursday, and she's ready for tonight. She's all about peace and love usually, but tonight.
No, it's all about putting a foot in Tatovic's ass. After that loss.
Yeah, handful of tights. Sophia didn't forget that. Neither did we.
Nope.
Mount Kadeem and Shannon the Dude come to the center of the ring. They're just getting piled on heat-wise, man. Crowd's going crazy, to your guys' point.
I can't repeat what I saw Mount Kadeem say several times, but you could read his lips.
I mean, you could repeat it.
I could, but I'm not going to.
We both said the F word on the show, though, last week, so we're trying to put some mileage in between us and that.
That's the first time I have used I've dropped the F-bomb on this podcast, or any other podcast for that matter. But, I mean, how friggin' cool is it that we walked out with a pen signed by the veteran Vaughn and Dude Love?
Yeah, and in Fan Zone tonight, I guess this will premiere after Fan Zone, but we'll see how those pins made it.
Yeah, we sure
will. So basically, we get down to if Zoe can move Kadeem, he gets a title shot. Loved it. Loved seeing Big Zoe come out.
Yeah,
Big Zoe, perennial favorite. I guess originally we thought that this was going to be Adam Revolver. Was that?
That was the original billing. Yeah,
I thought that was for Roz the Thursday before.
Okay. So yeah, I was gonna say but we were producing on the fly. We'll know.
Right.
We'll know in the future to get those down a little bit better. But So yeah, I didn't see Big Zoe kind of coming out. Big Zoe was the last guy I kind of expected to come out. Maybe because I thought the bill for this was the Rise bill. I don't know. But always fun to see Big Zoe. The proposition is out there. If you can slam Mount Kadeem, you get a title shot. Gets him up. Everybody wants it. Man, everybody can feel it.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen. Mount Kadeem remains elusive, right? He remains utterly immovable to everyone except for one person. That guy ain't here this week.
No.
He will be on Thursday night show.
He's probably back in Hollywood doing Hollywood things.
House of Villains, baby.
Yeah.
Hashtag House of Villains. At House of Villains. At Perfect Pitch. Jason at Perfect Pitch. Book Perfect Pitch.
Yeah.
Perfectpitch.com. Is that what it is? I might as well. If I'm going to say it, I might as well get it.
Bookperfectpitch.com.
Yeah, www.bookperfectpitch.com. Might as well say the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think after how do I want to say this? Who's going to beat Mount Kadeem? That's actually all that I want to say. That's where we'll start the conversation.
That is a very, to pardon the pun, a very big question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's anybody in OVW who could do it currently. 1-on-1?
There's got to be some crack in Mount Kadim's armor.
Some flaw, some tell or something?
There's got to be something. Because right now he really does just kind of look like Godzilla reigning over the entire city.
Yeah.
Like Goldberg if he could wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, Mount Kadim is a lot more mobile than Goldberg. That is for
and they
sure.
didn't tack on a bunch of wins to Mount Kadim just to make him look more menacing. Mount Kadim is menacing because Mount Kadim is Mount Kadim. They just kept adding numbers to Goldberg to kind of hype it up, which I thought was kind of garbage, but that's beside the point.
I thought it was garbage when he squashed Raven. I didn't like that very
I
much.
thought it was garbage when he squashed the Fiend, but don't get me started.
Yeah, that was stupid too.
Don't get me started on that.
I'd forgotten he squashed Raven. I loved Raven's flock in that time period.
Raven was the truth, brother.
What about me?
Cal and Super Z arrived together. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you to put a bow on it. I don't know who it is. If it wasn't Jesse, right? Makes sense. People love him. He's been all over the gold scene before. If it's not Big Zo, a guy who's a perennial favorite, can wrestle just about anybody there to some of their best matches. I mean, look what he did with Shane Mercer last year.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who it's gonna be.
I don't know that it could be the veteran Jack Vaughn. I think the only person who could possibly do it is going to have to fight their way there, and that's Cash Flow.
Yeah,
and that is like I'm talking.
I think you just
no
nailed it.
outside interference, steel cage, or he has somebody accompany him to the ring to offset whatever chicanery comes from the Revolution.
Chicanery, the dude.
I'm sorry, I think that's so funny, but
Chicanery the dude.
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I
Well
don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but
I will, man.
But that was pretty good. We see a sketch where Super Z and Cal arrive together. Looks like they're kind of simpatico. We saw last week at the Doghouse, like we're exchanging notes.
Yeah.
Looks like these guys are on the same page, right?
Yeah,
right. Looks like it, right?
Yeah, it looks like.
We'll see what happens though. Ballot 5 is Tatovic and Sophia Love. We get a big time start on Sophia Love with Tatovic hiding at the commentary desk to ambush her.
Dirty pool, old man.
Smart stuff, though.
It's definitely a smart move. But,
and it also kind of, in a way, it really, you tie it back to Tachovic's promo segment from earlier where she's saying, oh, it's insane that I have to wrestle Sophia Rose 3 times. Then you couple that with she has to ambush Sophia to win against her, supposedly. She has to grab the tights. She shook, man. Tatovic shook from Sophia Rose. That's really all that I hear, right?
Yeah.
On this pay-per-view evening, though, Sophia Rose takes the victory.
She sure does. No, I was happy to see it.
I was too. Especially after last week where I, in all honesty and sincerity, kind of was like, oh, I love the Dude Love stuff. Love the new Dude review. Love Sophia Love. Think it's all fun. Think it's a lot of fun. No, it's a lot of fun, actually.
You know how I feel about it.
I know how you feel about it. I know how most of the audience feels about it. But I would have been remiss without feeling like, is this really the best direction for Sophia Rose right now? And I know the argument is, well, duh, it's Dude Love. It's always going to be the best direction. I don't know. I liked the Sophia Rose we were getting for months and months and months and months, and it was nice to kind of see that Sophia Rose in the midst of the new Dude review stuff here on pay-per-view. I'm back on board with the new Dude review, and Sophia Rose is rolling it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We see a sketch with Star Rider and Evil Z. After that, they're calling themselves the good guys. Just good stuff. Gaslighting, just heel gaslighting. It's good stuff. The match between Star Rider and Evil Z and Super Z and Cal Hero, though, whoever is playing Evil Z,
we have no formal proof.
Yeah.
Well, this is the podcast where we can say what we think.
Yeah. Well, here's what
we know who Super Z is on the podcast, even if we don't say it all the time.
It is PJ. I'm just gonna go with PJ.
That would be Evil Z. Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations. Not only did you get your first singles match in OVW over the last little bit, you got your first pay-per-view match, and you're in there with Cal, Super Z, and Star Rider, 3 of the big stars.
Yeah.
And you're holding your own. You looked a little silly at some points. By design.
But then again, everybody does it.
Everybody looks a little silly sometimes.
I do every day.
But I was very proud for Evil Z here.
Yeah.
Very, very proud for Evil Z. The story of the match, though, is that Cal Hero and Super Z, although it seems like they've made out to be quick friends, Cal Hero kind of can't shake this one nagging thing, and that thing is who, Brian Hines?
That would be Jamin Olivencia.
Were you surprised to see Jamin Olivencia on Saturday night?
Yeah, I very much was. Like, I turned around and, oh, God, there he is.
Like you ran into him when he was in the crowd getting ready to go taunt Cal.
Yeah, like I turned around and he was literally, like, right behind me, and I got a little nervous, I'm not going to lie.
Jamin Olivencia is being portrayed right now as, like, the long game thinker, the long con man. He knows that he doesn't even have to get his boots on to get in Cal Hero's head.
He's already there.
He's already winning against Cal Hero, and he's not even in the ring yet. Cal is clearly not forgotten about Jamin. Cal is clearly, what's the word I want to use?
Preoccupied?
By Jamin, yeah.
Yes.
And that's very unlike Cal, right? That's very unlike the Cal Hero that we are used to.
Yeah, he's usually very confident, very self-assured. This Jamin Olivencia thing's, I don't know that I'd say rattled, but it's gotten under his skin a little bit.
I would say rattled.
Yeah?
Cal doesn't like to lose. No wrestler likes to lose.
No.
That's not why they're in the ring. Cal, more than probably just about anybody, doesn't like to lose and is very, very used to winning. And it's because he works his ass off and he's a great wrestler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jamin Olivencia is going to continue to steal wins from Cal through basically no work at all.
No.
And I love it. I love the mind games of Jamin Olivencia right now. And this could be kind of the thing. We've seen, like, the edgier and edgier Cal. He's getting more personality, more promo time. He's getting fun. He's got some jokes. Who knew the kid has some jokes, right?
Yeah.
This seems to be the thing that is going to not change Cal in the classic wrestling way. It's like a change. This is going to break Cal Hero. I cannot wait until Jamin and Cal actually have a face-to-face or a promo battle or a match.
Or a rap battle.
Well, I'm less sold on that. Dance battle, we saw one of those. I don't want to book that again too quick.
Speak for yourself.
But not between Jamin and Cal, at least.
Okay.
But we gotta save those. We gotta save those boys for the plunger matches or whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Sticking plungers on each other's head. The distraction from Jamin Olivencia, Cal being distracted by Jamin, the ref being distracted by Jamin, is long enough for the good guys, as they're calling themselves, to get a low blow on the real Super Z. The ref comes in, match is over. Cal Hero has lost the match basically by turning his back on his friend. Jamin's rattled this man. Jamin's rattling him. He's in his head, bro. I love it. I just want to see Jamin back.
Yeah.
He's my favorite wrestler.
But like you said, I love that he's playing the long game.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows when we're going to get that match? Will we get it at the next pay-per-view in March? Probably not. Are we going to get it at Hillbilly Days? Who knows?
Maybe.
So I would never presume to speak for the 11th Warrior, Jamin Olivencia. However, based on the things I've learned talking to him and watching his videos, and he was, we've spoken several times about the remarkable day that he came to the studio.
Yeah.
And all the things that happened with that.
It was a banner day at the Blacklight Moons production studio.
It sure was. I think Jamin is going to reveal the real Cal Hero. I think that he is going to help strip away some of the layers, and this is the first time Cal has had to face a mental opponent. It seems to me like Tony Gunn was mostly physical, and it was some mind games, but it wasn't on the level of Jamin Olivencia.
So you don't think working the concession stand does a number on a guy?
I mean, it does. It certainly did. But I think that Jamin is going to be able to come up with some ways to kind of get at his psychology. He already is. And he's just walking through the crowd. He bought a ticket.
Tony Gunn's a dog, right? Tony Gunn's a pit bull. Jamin Olivencia is a cat. There's the difference between the two guys.
He was a what?
He's a cat.
He's an ambush predator.
He's a puma.
Cats are interdimensional.
Some of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Schrodinger's cat.
No, that's outside the box.
That's the one, right, where you don't know if the cat exists or not until you open the box? I can't remember. I didn't like math or science.
But we do like cats.
Or philosophy, really.
Yeah.
Jamin, just come back. I don't know. So I can read my stupid poem. How's that? Do I have selfish reasons for wanting Jamin to come back? Yeah, I do. I want everyone to know how smart I am and how talented I am in writing poetry.
I want to pick up that conversation about transcendental meditation and David Lynch.
Yeah.
That was the last thing we talked about.
Well, whenever we get rolling on that David Lynch podcast, we'll have Jamin on that podcast too.
Definitely.
Help us with the SEO.
Yeah. We need it.
Dustin Jackson is ready to prove he's the best wrestler in Kentucky and will win. Justin Jackson, man, had full steam in this match. Had full steam. It is maybe one of the undercurrents of the match, maybe not even an undercurrent, maybe it's right there on top of it, is that Doug Basham has trained a lot of these guys that he's now punishing.
Yeah, he sure has.
Dustin Jackson seemed to be kind of teaching the teacher that night. The student has become the teacher.
The pebble has been snatched from Doug Basham's hand.
Yes, but what Dustin didn't expect was for Doug just to pull out, and not a pebble, but a giant rock.
So we had a perfect view of that series of events. I mean, Dustin has Doug's number all the way through that match.
All the way through.
All the way through. Up until Doug tries to kick Dustin. Dustin catches it, takes a couple swings at him, and then collapses in a heap in pain.
Now, what's going through your mind live at that moment? How's the crowd reacting at that moment?
There was visible and audible shock.
Okay.
To varying degrees, and still got the people there to, support Country Boy and have a good time on their own with their friends.
Well, so from me watching it back, it maybe didn't seem as I don't want to use the word real. It didn't seem as imperative. It didn't seem as shocking because the camera never cut.
See, that was something I didn't see until I went back to watch it.
That's why I wanted to ask about the in-person perspective of this moment.
I mean, it's much like when anybody at a baseball game gets hit by a pitch.
Sure.
Or if you're a linebacker and you accidentally break an ankle or something like that in the middle of a football game.
Or almost die, like
yeah.
that one kid.
Which one?
DeMar Hamlin.
I was at that game.
That's insane.
We'll talk about that later. I don't want to talk about it.
It's one of the worst moments I've ever seen on national television.
We'll talk about it some other time. I don't want to feel like talking about it now. It was a very tough evening.
So Brian and I were basically over the shoulders of the score table or the timekeeper here in this moment, and we do see senior ref Daniel Spencer turns to the score table and gives the
X.
Gives the X.
And we've talked about this before. I personally am not a huge fan of when the X gets thrown and it turns out to be a work.
I'm not a fan of X's either. For different reasons.
Yeah, I'm not talking. Well, I mean, trust me, I understand where you're coming from, brother. But I'm talking about the X.
Yeah.
No, not her, the one that Daniel Spencer threw up.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think that should be reserved for, like, because inevitably in this sport, someone will get very injured. And it could be on the most complex move, and it could be on the most simple move, right? Much like, it wasn't like Doug was doing anything. Well, he's lying. He was lying the whole time. But here in the moment, we're supposed to believe that Doug's leg just goes out. Simple maneuver, right? Simple.
Yeah, they thought it was his hip.
Right. We see the X get thrown up. Al Snow comes out.
The ringside trainer comes out as well.
The ringside trainer, Mrs. Luke Curtis.
Yeah.
Or Mrs. Curtis, Luke's mom.
Right.
Dr. Curtis.
Let's give her
her.
Mrs. Luke Curtis would be Layla come later this year, I suppose.
That's right.
Good for them. Good for them. What's going through your head when the doctor comes out and when Al comes out?
Well, when the trainer comes to the ring, that seems pretty standard. Didn't think too much about it. Didn't even notice Dustin Jackson chasing Shannon the Dude around the ring, and then ultimately back to the backstage area, up the ramp and backstage. Didn't think too much about any of that until Al Snow came out.
Right.
And then it seemed like it was pretty serious.
And these aren't crocodile tears from old Doug Basham over here.
No, those were real tears.
You attested to the fact that this was water coming out of his eyes.
Yeah.
And who knew Doug Basham was such a good actor?
I thought he was in serious pain.
Then, of course, Doug and Dr. Curtis.
And Al Snow.
And Al Snow are heading toward I meant to say Al Snow the first time. Al and Dr. Curtis are helping Doug toward the exit. Dustin the entire time is like kind of not buying it.
And yeah, kind of in disbelief.
Like this is
you believe this bullshit?
Yeah. Well, and then he's running around chasing Shannon. He's still hyping himself up, and then there's a point where he kind of realizes, like, man, this is not the match I wanted. This is not how I wanted this to happen. He kind of gets dejected. Takes his head out of the game. Doug's being helped to the ramp.
Dustin does try to go up and make sure that he's okay and offer words of support.
Because that's Dustin. That's who Dustin is.
And Doug Basham, being Doug Basham, uses that opportunity to let us all know that it was a fake. He was faking it all along. Pummels Dustin Jackson, gets him back in the ring. In the biggest stroke of deliciousness of the night, hits him with his own move. 1, 2, 3. Doug Basham gets the win. Gets with the cutter that Dustin Jackson was not allowed to use.
This is a hell of a cutter.
Yeah.
It was a crazy cutter from Doug Basham. I guess that's why he teaches the class. He probably taught Dustin how to do his cutter.
Well, there it is right there.
I want to see that again, man.
Yeah.
Some good stuff. There's like a point where he's completely horizontal with the ring. Like, it's absolutely insane. Doug Basham, he's still got it.
Yeah.
Still got it.
He looks like he's on a flying carpet. He's sliding.
Yeah, man.
Anytime I am horizontal with the floor, please just know that it was accidental, and I am seriously in need of medical attention.
So, to wrap it up on this match, what's the moment like whenever everybody realizes that Doug's pulled the wool over their eyes?
Pure outrage.
Okay.
People were pretty upset.
Doug or Al very upset.
Except for that guy with the 80s jumpsuit, he was pretty happy no matter what.
Al was very upset.
He was. I believe I heard the swears.
From Al?
Just in general. In
I was going to say, Al doesn't swear.
No.
I've never heard him swear ever. Not on this show, at least. No, that's not true. Final match of the night.
One more thing before you guys move away. I do
Please.
think it has now maybe become personal for Al.
If it hasn't already,
yeah.
This has to be it. Al, we know him to be professional inside this world of OVW and outside of the world of OVW. But we're talking about from the show standpoint. We know him to be professional. We know him to usually be very just. Usually kind of be guided by
voices.
No, I didn't see that reference coming from you today.
That's right.
He's always there to make like the right decision, and that's included in this moment where he thinks that, man, me and this guy have been having trouble. maybe we don't see eye to eye right now, but I do, at the end of the day, have respect for this guy. I've been through a lot with this guy. I need to come out and check on him. Al always makes the just, rational decision. I think that this kind of... I think
this has set him over the line.
I think that that's gone. As far as his relationship with Doug, from kayfabe perspective, that's gone. There's no more benefit of the doubt from Al Snow.
No.
And maybe this should have happened, maybe Al is filled with regret. Maybe Al's saying, I got worked again, but I'm never getting worked again now. Like, this is it with the Revolution. This is it with Doug Basham.
It'll be interesting to see what he has to say on Thursday night.
Thursday night, Thursday nights after a pay-per-view are always fun. Yeah. You can kind of see where the pieces have dropped and where they'll be, trying to forecast where they'll be going.
Yeah.
Final match of the evening was a Chain Carnage match, a match that around here at the podcast has not always been our favorite.
Not especially, no. I didn't know that until much later in the game, and when I was told that the main event was a Chain Carnage match, I believe my response was,
no.
Very quick turnaround time.
Yes, this was the best Chain Carnage match that we've seen in our time covering OVW.
Yes.
Absolutely, bar none.
It's only the second one we've seen.
Are you sure we haven't seen 3?
I don't believe we've seen 3. No.
I've seen 3, and I'm including it in our time.
Okay.
But
okay, I can think of 2.
Either way, this was better than EC3 and Spectacular.
Absolutely.
Miles and miles and miles above.
Yeah.
Of course, it's Beaches and Cream versus De Niro and Evans. One of our bigger kind of criticisms of this match style before the last time we saw it was like the chains aren't being utilized and it's just not violent enough. I'm not wincing enough, right? I'm not saying ooh enough. Did you think you said ooh enough during this match?
Yes, very much, and then some.
Did you wince enough during this match?
Watching Beaches and Cream hit Jay De Niro through the uprights, that hurt.
Did I see that are they taking people's belts from the crowd?
Yeah.
They God.
They were taking belt donations because
God.
they did not have belts. They had previously been beaten with belts by De Niro and Evans. Felt like they needed to get even, so they put out a call to audience members who readily whipped their belts off and threw them towards them so they could get their revenge. And those belts weren't enough, so they had to break out the chains.
So they're just taking random people's belts. I'm glad that it wasn't. I'm glad that it wasn't Doug Basham's belt with the studs all over it. That would have been. I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it's not 2007 anymore, and everyone is just wearing studded belts.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Because that could have really hurt De Niro.
That could have hurt a lot of people.
And if Tony Evans got hurt, so what? Me and him have beef. Can't ever see them say eye to eye. Can't. And that's real life beef, guys. I don't like Tony Evans. Go look at any of our interviews. All I've tried to do is be nice to him.
Well,
I mean, there's some evidence maybe
to the contrary.
A little bit.
So they end up winning the match by decimating Tony Evans and Jay De Niro.
That was very solid. That was a very solid strategy on the part of Beaches and Cream, divide and conquer.
Right.
Towards the end of the match, once the gloves were off per se, and
after the belts were off.
The belts were off. And in come the chains. They wisely used the chains to tie Jay De Niro up in the corner.
Loved that.
Rendering him useless. So therefore, it was divide and conquer. And after that, it was 2-on-1 Beaches and Cream. And it didn't take long for them to take home the victory.
No, they beat that fruit booty.
They sure did. Everybody got a free sample of whipped cream.
As is customary.
Yeah. Superior Tony Evans got a shot of whipped cream. Jay De Niro got several shots of whipped cream, but the person who received the most cream was anybody? Any guesses?
Chris Runyon.
Ding, 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 ding. He was not happy about this and told me afterwards that he was trying to get the Cream banned and wanted me to join him, and I said, "Sorry, man, you know how I feel about this. I'm Team Cream all the way." So it's on you.
I abstained. If I was there, I would have said I have no opinion.
I'm going to have to start bringing like a really good like coffee with me to OVW. If they're going to come to the ring,
if you start bringing coffee inside of Ohio Valley Wrestling, nothing's going to happen. You'll have a good time.
No,
Just be more caffeinated.
I'll get some whipped cream.
Yeah, sorry that there wasn't kind of the usual BS-ery around here today. Both of us are kind of running a little low on the energy, but it was a heck of a night. I'm sad that I didn't get to go with you guys. Always great to Davis Arena, but every once in a while I like to recenter myself with only seeing the product on television and not having the live experience to go along with it.
Yeah, I get that.
And this
A lot of our people, that's all they get.
That's true. Yeah, and so it does kind of maybe add a a layer to my coverage that is a little different than if I'm just talking about what I saw live. But shout out to Eric Cornish for keeping the crowd entertained, putting up the chains for that Chain Carnage match.
He really did. He did a fantastic job out there talking about the signs, making chit chat with the fans. The shout out to the crew that switched the ring over. I think we clocked it at like 8 minutes.
Oh, that's a tight turnover,
right?
Man.
It really was, considering the first time it was like half an hour.
Yeah, first time it was just brutal, and that probably weighs into my general feelings about this type of match anyway. But our biggest complaints last time, the long changeover time, and the amount of time actually, spent with this particular prop, the chains themselves. Both of those concerns or complaints were completely nullified this time, because this was a wonderful match, full of chains, full of cream, full of laughter, full of tears. It's I was going to try to lead into it's a small world after all, but I lost my train of thought.
I was actually while we were rewatching this a little earlier, I was thinking about that. It felt like so long during that Chain Carnage match changeover, and I was thinking
The previous one,
yeah.
Yes.
And I was thinking, like, I wonder how much of that, to tie it back to that conversation we were just having about live versus televised product, I wonder how much of that truly painted our feelings toward that match. Like, I wonder if that match was actually just serviceable and we were just like,
we were there and we had to wait an extra half hour to see it.
Yeah, we were cranky.
It was late. It was cold because it was Christmas chaos. I'm old and I was tired and I wanted to go home and be in bed.
All right, guys, we have Fan Zone in 45 minutes. Our guest should be here soon, so
you will just have joined us when you start listening to this.
Right. Yes. Yeah. We have a guest, so we want to make sure we get to him, and he should be here soon. Everybody, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps. I hate being like every other dude on YouTube and asking you to like and subscribe, but like it is what it is, and it helps a lot.
And ring the bell.
Well, let's see. You noticed I didn't say that one. Follow us at OVW Podcast. That's everywhere, anywhere that you could possibly imagine it. And thank you, Jason.
Bookpitchperfect.com.
Bookpitchperfect.com. This has been the OVW Podcast. My name is Jack Minokes.
I'm Brian Hines.
For Tiny Brian and Malachi P.S. Woodard and everyone else here, thank you, love you, see ya.